Welcome to the Nerdtastic in 3D podcast.
It's Nerdtastic in 3D. Oh, it's Nerdtastic in 3D. Yes, it's Nerdtastic in 3D. It's Nerdtastic
in 3D.
Ladies and gentlemen,
Whee!
welcome to Banana in 3D.
What is that?
Banana in 3D.
Oh, that's the new name of our show.
Banana in 3D. That would be
For
the
Adam, who's
worst.
not here.
Yeah. The
Hey,
grammar.
what number episode is this?
This is number 66.
Say.
Yeah,
Bitch.
boy.
For anyone out there who's
Sex.
listening, Nerdtastic in 3D, we're a bunch of entertainment industry people talking to you about anything and everything that we find entertaining and or nerdy. Pretty much just a podcast for fun. Hope you enjoy it. My name's Jason Carter.
I'm Jack Eckler.
Sean Fennel.
Josh Zabrat.
Jason Pecco.
Sean Mother effing Kearney.
Boom.
And we are down one gentleman this evening.
I call him a half a gentleman.
Yeah, I'm with you there.
I call him just half.
Gentleman means he's male, right?
Yeah. Gentle
And
boy.
gentle.
He's a gentle boy.
Gentle boy.
It's not very gentle either.
His name rhymes with mad.
So I heard
Genitalia boy.
Abrasive boy.
North Korea
We're getting on
has
this. Huh?
taken all of their nukes and now put them into storage because someone found out that they were actually
Fake.
wooden
Snow cone machines.
wooden tubes with metal sheeting around them, that they were
Alright.
not actually missiles.
That sounds about.
But at some point they fired
The old
something.
Trojan horse.
They
trick.
fired a missile.
Well, they fired a missile.
You know who
Well-
we really need to ask about this is the Korean killer,
They weren't.
because he's obviously got
Gary, phone a friend. Phone a
going on?
friend. and
angst
find out.
against these people.
So the thing they fired was just a hobbyist rocket, maybe?
I don't think it was.
No.
I think a meteor had come down and they claimed it as it was
that-
their missile.
So-
It's the same one that blew Siberia apart,
yeah,
right?
that was, they said that was
So
their
the
missile.
last big military parade they did, NPR did a whole report on this thing, and they had a couple specialists come in to analyze the video, and they basically got rocket scientists to look at what they were showing on these trucks, and all of them across the board were like, it's impressive, but then if for anybody who's in that field, every one of the rockets was different, and some of the guys were like, which could be possible, they could be prototypes that they kept bringing out, which is probably what they said it was, but he's like, I'm guessing none of the ones on the truck could do anything. Seriously, and they probably would fall apart after the fact, but they look like prototypes of maybe what they want to do.
Yeah. There was a thing too where they had like a propaganda poster of all of their like Navy, and they found that those pictures were actually photoshopped, and there was probably only like 2 real ships in the picture, and all the rest of them were just photoshopped. in.
That one's funny. That one's
hilarious.
No, I think you're racist, and you just think all Korean ships look the same.
That is
The ship burger.
That actually makes a lot of
The
sense.
vehicles are accurate, though, and they talked about that. Like, the vehicles that they brought in, those are specifically designed for that kind of launch. So it's clear, I mean, they did spend a lot of money for a hoax that they're potentially going to still try to move forward with. There'd be no... Outside of us coming after them, what's really stopping them from actually trying to do that?
Jason knows.
He's got his hand up.
I'm one
North
hand
Korea's
up.
kind of a hoax.
That's what I was doing earlier. I think we're egging them on.
Have we talked
I
about
think it's a
this?
real country, even.
You think
Yeah,
we're
that's a
agging them
hoax.
on, really?
Yeah.
I don't know. I think
Go ahead, Kurt.
I think we're egging them on a little bit, like that. You know, I think that we should be excited that they're so incompetent and don't have real missiles. Like, not the people, but the country, the government itself doesn't know what they're doing. And every chance we get, we're like, they don't know what they're doing.
I think we should have called their bluff and been like, "Holy shit! Don't attack us."
No,
like, you've
who
got
knows?
some real shit, and then see what they would have done.
And then we should
'Cause
say-
they'd have
No,
been like,
we can't play
"Oh,
chicken like that. Like
come on."
I feel like we need to just take a step back and be like, all right, just like we need to treat it like the weird kid in class. We need to just sit there and just be like, that's kind of crazy, the stuff you guys are saying, and then we should just like move on because we're sitting there and poking and prodding, and then like one day they're not gonna have a nuclear weapon, and they're gonna have something stupid and weird, and then it's gonna hurt us.
But that's
Clones.
the kid who
I'm afraid.
sits. No, he
Clones.
sits on the couch with his rifle and his lipstick, and he's got his list.
Yeah.
and he's putting it on.
He's that guy.
North
And
Korea.
think about it. And then in the
He is
end of
Steve
Billy
Buscemi.
Madison,
He's so Steve Buscemi.
he shoots somebody, and that's
Hey.
what I'm afraid of.
Have we talked about
Yeah.
the border between North and South Korea?
Every
And-
episode.
Do we?
Yeah, No Man's Land.
the old DMZ line.
Yeah, No Man's Land. We
But
talk about that all the time.
There's the bunkers, right? There's a series of buildings on the actual border, and there's one room that straddles the border, and this is a meeting room for the North and South to get together and to discuss
There's
things.
actually a tape line. Is that what you're getting at? The tape line down the center of the room, which is there.
Yeah, no, I was going to say that
awesome.
when the South Koreans go in, because basically if any trespasses on the country in the country of North Korea, you can be executed for whatever trespassing. I don't know what it is, but
Get off my lawn.
So the South
head
Koreans, they will go every day. There's a scheduled meeting that the North Koreans never show up to, and the South Koreans routinely go in and they open up the conference room. They open up their door. They go in. They go onto the other side and they open up the North Korean door so that they can come in. But they are so paranoid that as soon as they open the North Korean door, someone's going to grab them and pull them into their country, and they can be executed for that. That there's literally one guy who holds on to a pole, a large metal pole, and then grabs the other guy by the belt while he's opening the door, so that if for some reason
Has it happened?
no, but if anybody pulls, they're still connected.
Just
Did you see
attach
that in
a
a slapstick
rod to
comedy
it and
movie?
go,
No, that's
eh.
no, that's what Jay does when he goes to the bathroom. He makes me hold on to a giant pole, and
You might eat those.
Well,
you know,
and it makes me hold on to him.
Clearly, you're not talking about Kearney. So
like, what kind of pole?
Yeah.
he said large. So, like I said, Kearney's out. So, no, they've actually shut all those down. There's actually a factory as well that the North Koreans. It was right on the DMZ line that they both were able to use. They've shut that down since all this stuff has been happening. They've shut any kind of meetings and Passover like stuff. I don't know. It's getting a little more serious. The best is, have you seen any of the what's the Vice documentary is my favorite of the North Korea stuff. The guy who is the head of Vice, the documentary series on YouTube, and it's on HBO as well. Have you guys anybody seen it? Josh, you've
I've
seen
read
it?
the magazine.
Not that one.
It's
but
a,
I've
it's a
seen
two
it.
it's a
couple
two-part
Vice ones,
Vice
yeah.
documentary, and the guy who started Vice, the bigger guy with the beard, I think he's a little thinner now, but he found a way in, and you go this really crazy route of starting in Canada, and you go to some other foreign country, and then you buy some special travel ticket, and they get you in. And when he went, it was him and a cameraman, and the video. I'll try to post a link to it. The video is surreal because he gets there, and they put him up, and it's very, very guided tour. Your entire time there is Uber guided tour, down to the hotel. So he gets to the hotel, and it's I guess the biggest hotel in downtown North Korea, which is a very desolate place as it is. But it's this mega hotel. As far as he could tell the whole time, he's the only guest.
Oh yeah.
He comes down to eat in this giant ball, and they're filming. The only way he said he filmed is because I forgot what he said he was filming, and they were very control about what he filmed. And it's him in this dining hall, dude. It's a huge ass ballroom. Think of Staples Center cleared out, but it's those dining room tables, and it's him, and he's sitting at a table with formal china, and he's just eating. And it's the camera pans back, and it just keeps going, and it's just him eating.
Yeah.
And he's like, so after the awkward dinner, I went back up to my room, and
feel
it's
so
all
awkward.
it's all state funded TV, right? So you only get what they want you to see. And he's like, it's just crazy military propaganda most of the TV, and then everything else they just try to make everything happy, so you're always happy. They wake him up, and then they take him on these tours, and it's just such a surreal thing. He's like, you'll be on the road forever, and not see a car.
Yeah.
Even in downtown, you won't see any cars, and they're very militant about what you take pictures of. And he's like, it's just a landlocked city. It's stuck in the 50s.
And
Easily stuck in the 50s. Everything is. And you can see where they started, these intense, architectural skyscrapers and these great buildings. And it was just clear, he asked somebody else who was willing to talk a little bit. They just don't have money to do that stuff anymore. So it's all these things that are just not halfway done.
yeah.
And they just ran out. Same with the cars. The cars are there. The cars that have been there since the 50s when they could still get cars. So it's all makeshift fixes on them.
The hotel he probably stayed in, I think it's called the Gong Hotel, is this spear-looking hotel. It's this.
It might be. It was a really big. It was a cool looking hotel.
Yeah, but I guess for I don't know when they started building it, for 10 years, they only showed pictures of it from one angle because they hadn't finished the rest of it.
Because it was a cardboard cutout.
It was, yeah.
Hold on, no. Is it the one that comes like which one are you talking about?
It's like it looks like a spearhead that has like 4. Like it's not quite a pyramid, but it looks like
because there was one big that was done. It was going to be like
it's done now, I think.
Okay.
But like for the longest time, they would like it took forever to build because they have no.
He went
no
out
money.
to it. They took him out. They bust him out to like a tourist location, and there's they hire like one tourist person of this like I don't know. It's supposed to show like the scenery or it's like a monument of North Korea, but it's one woman who works sort of the I don't know, the gift shop / he said she does everything. She's the gift shop / tour guide / like cafe worker / there's a pimp what is it called like a table tennis ping pong and there was nobody else to play there, so he was like, will you play with me? So it's just them two playing.
She was probably really
like it
good,
was
right?
really creepy, dude. It was just super creepy that like no one's around, and when you see people like they're all looking like they haven't eaten in forever, and it's just the fact you see everything looking like it's stuck like anywhere from the 40s to 50s, and they haven't progressed at all.
Did you see that one article? It was like the guy, he was taking pictures of North Korea, but it was like a whole secret thing. Like he had the camera, but he always had to like have it hidden. And at any point, if they would have, asked to like look through his bag or whatever, he would have just been basically like shot or something. But it just shows him like getting his haircut, and it's like supposedly like a daily life of what North Korea is. And
Can anyone tell me what type of government North Korea has?
I'm gonna guess communist.
Dictatorship,
yes,
That's close.
communist dictatorship.
Isn't it a hereditary totalitarian dictatorship?
That would be it.
Duh.
Okay.
You guys are
So you can only be a dictator if you are the son.
It's a single-party state hereditary totalitarian dictatorship. Now, can anyone here tell me who the eternal president of North Korea is?
eternal.
Dennis Rodman.
He's the dude from the 50s who started the war, right?
Kim Jong something.
Kim Il-sung,
Yeah.
who is the eternal WPK general secretary.
Kim Jong Il.
Kim
Did he? Isn't that the same dude who fought Andre the Giant
Kim Jong-il.
in the Royal Rumble?
Who is the supreme leader?
Kim Jong
Jong-un.
Un.
There it is.
It's Un.
This has been Geography Corner.
Well, an interesting thing about North Korea, they use Macs.
I think that was a
Seen
soci-
that?
I think that was a
They
socio-political
do.
corner,
They use
but
Macs. They have
whatever.
iMacs. There was a picture that was taken.
It's from the 50s, though.
Yeah, they're 50s Macs. They're all made out of wood. No, there was a picture taken that every once in a while they'll release pictures, I guess, to kind of just show yeah, we got this fucking army, man. And they released a picture of Kim Jong-un, and this is a famous picture because in the background he had not even out of focus, but in focus in this picture, it's him talking to a general, and in the background is a map, and then he's just circled Florida, New York, Chicago, and then has a bunch of lines and has written we're gonna blow that shit up. Or, I'm not even making this up. Literally, that's what it was. Is this posed picture that has this in the background. But what you can also see is a sweet new iMac sitting there. And so the blogs I was reading were all about. Hey, at least he appreciates style.
Well, he hangs out
I
with
love
Dennis
how
Rodman.
nobody calls the other shit out when they see the iMac. They're like, "Hey, dude, wait, is that a PowerBook? What is
He
this?"
hangs out with Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman's gone on multiple trips to North
they
Korea
still
to
have
hang
a
out.
relationship with China, and Russia is still somewhat of a comrade. So they're able to get some things in.
The super interesting thing, though, is their economy is completely driven by weapons that they sell, drugs that they sell, and people. Basically, they have their workers cross the demilitarized zone to work in warehouses, and then the government gets paid, and then the government pays the workers in the North Korean currency, which is useless outside of North Korea. The government completely determines what it's worth, and so the only way they make money on the world economy is in those three channels.
So they build weapons.
They build and sell their weapons.
Okay.
Probably not. I don't know what
who?
caliber to. There's a good podcast. It's Planet Money that did a whole segment on their economy, and I don't know exactly who, but they have all the details.
Because I thought their issues were buying military. Our big issue with North Korea, or I'm sorry, with China and Russia, is the fact that we still call them out for supplying them
right
with military aid.
But North Korea will sell their government runs the drug trade. They have government enforcers who kill or whatever, imprison like competitors in the drug trade. So anybody who's illegally selling drugs big enough in North Korea, they'll imprison them so that they run it. And the same
Haven't
thing
we
with
like
weapons.
invaded countries for this is my less shit than this?
Yeah.
Yeah, but we invaded.
I know there's no
countries-
useful resource there.
We invaded countries. For,
I mean, that's it.
for resources, not
Yeah.
for this.
A lot's changed.
Yeah.
I heard they got a dope ass hotel, dude. That's what you like invade them for that shit.
Gong Hotel, man.
So we
Shit
did a
me
little.
on, yo.
We did a little Google image search for Kim Jong Un, and my favorite picture by far is Kim Jong Il Illuminati.
Nah.
He's got the hood on or what?
No, dude, he's like a fat 20-year-old. Look at him in there. My only worry is he looks like he's 20. He's a kid, and you've given him control over this army.
He's the
And
supreme leader.
is he smart enough to not do dumb shit? I guess is what it comes down to.
Yeah. Well,
Clearly,
one would hope
already
so.
he's not proven.
Yeah. Well, so long, North Korea.
So long.
No, seriously. What? I feel like we invade just less. So many other countries for less. Why are we dicking with this country? Like I feel like we are. We let them put. How many landmines are in the DMZ zone? You were that zone you're talking about. It's the most landmined area in the world.
Yeah.
How many are in there? It's like something retarded.
Yeah, it's a big number. I don't know off the top of my head.
I mean, it's thousands and thousands of landmines in this zone. Like, what do we? Why? I don't get what.
Yeah.
Why?
I feel like we just need to sugar off the pot. Like at a certain
Yeah,
point, we
that's
need to,
exactly
like,
how I feel.
Either just like
Why play
make a big
chicken?
stance,
Why-
or we should just be like, let's just ignore these guys.
If there's any country that deserves to just get fucking handed their ass for the amount of shit they talk. Saddam, we invaded. He didn't even talk shit really to us, other than, hey, dude, just let me do my thing. You guys are fine. I'm not trying to nuke you. This dude Daly's like, man, I draw maps with Florida fucked up, and then, like
Like, it
I'm
does
going to
feel
nuke
like
you
he's
as
just
soon as I
seeing what he
can.
can do. He's like
like
I'm
number
just
one
gonna fucking
terrorist.
circle. Like it kind of like sounds like how a 20-year-old would respond to being president. He's like, fuck this. I'm gonna fucking draw a map and just write bomb.
Yeah, and
in
draw
Korea.
circles on it.
Yeah, just like, yeah, fuck you. Like it's kind of awesome in like how stupid it is.
It's like he's filming a movie.
Yeah.
Like in like 10 years, they're gonna be like, "Oh, we were just kidding. We were just filming
It's,
a
yeah,
movie." the
you know
whole
who he
time."
is? He's Joaquin Phoenix in that I'm Still Here movie.
Yeah.
Right? Like that's what it is. It's Joaquin. Like he's gonna take off his like face mask and just be like, "I was just fucking with you. I'm the dude from Van Wilder." Like I'm just messing with you guys. There's really this other old dude who's running this country. Forget about it. He does not want to like incur your wrath.
What do you think, Josh? Should we just leave him alone?
Yeah,
US
no, I mean it's
Mandarin.
it's stupid, but it's at the same time you question. Okay, they can talk all you want. You know, what are they gonna until they do anything? Then just whatever.
See when they free you,
Yeah,
right?
a guy can sit there and go like, "I'm gonna fucking kick your ass. I'm gonna kick your ass, dude. I'm gonna kick your ass." It's like, okay, come here, take a swing, and then we will go at it. I'm not just gonna go and swing at you because you're calling me a dick. I really can give.
But
two
they're not
shits what
my
you think.
issues.
So
They're
we're not
throwing,
playing prison rules.
They're not throwing punches.
No
though.
prison rules.
No prison.
That's
No
what I'm saying.
chance.
So I'm saying,
Fuck it. If it was just this dude punching Obama in the face, that'd be awesome. Just do it. Get it out of the way so we can start some fucking war. But like, their punch is going to be something
Get out of the way.
that none of us are going to want. That's my only concern. Whatever it is. Now it might not affect us as much if they invade South Korea or they throw a missile into South Korea unless it kills some Americans. It's going to bother people. But I mean, what? I'm just wondering what it's going to
as soon
take.
as you do, you invade or you threaten, bomb, whatever, some sort of ally, then we're kind of in it. So.
Yeah, they'll get in it for sure.
Exactly. But I don't know. That's my take. Fuck you. What was that little exchange?
Yeah, secret.
I just wanted to go, what up, and Kanye West?
Kanye West. Team Awesome.
Do you know Kanye West
Yeah.
personally?
Yeah, he's the guy who has the hit single, I Believe I Can Fly.
Oh, that
we were
is
just talking
sealed.
about that.
Well, no, it was
that on- is that
that
on-
was last week
that on-
when
Is that on
Happy
Carter
birthday,
Xbox
didn't
Records?
know the difference between Kanye West and R. Kelly.
Wait a minute, we got a
No,
birthday?
that song.
We got a birthday?
Is that on Xbox?
Is this somebody's birthday?
It's in Sanya's.
That's what I'm hearing.
Is it Sonya's?
Happy birthday, Kanye West.
We got some beeping.
I think
all
we're
right.
having a video conference.
That's
this-
all right.
Coming in.
It's gonna be creepy.
So,
No, unfortunately, it was picking up super secret things in our room that it probably wasn't supposed to.
Oh. You can take us off and
I'm
flip
just.
them
It's a bad day for me here at DTS. Today. What the fuck?
Yeah. We're in a room that is covered in gold.
hey,
and
not allowed to see it.
Disney
You're not allowed to
secrets.
see this gold.
You know what we should talk about?
Something interesting?
Something fun. Let's stop talking about Miami Vice.
Yeah, go.
No, I said let's stop talking about it. That's what we've been
sorry.
talking about is Miami Vice.
Okay, what
Okay,
do
go.
you want to talk about?
I want to talk about Insanye's birthday. Happy birthday, Insanye.
Is it Justin's birthday for real? Is that what he says?
Yes.
Justin, how old are you, buddy?
You can't. You
We
can't
can.
answer.
Yeah,
No,
you can.
Oh,
Yeah, you
type
can.
it
It's
in.
just going to be delayed.
We have the
It's called
technology.
technology, man.
With Skynet.
He
Yes.
says he's years old. Oh, 36.
Yeah, buddy, welcome to the club.
Yes, years old.
We are the same age for a few more months.
You only
And
like.
then I'm older again.
All right, so here's what I want to know.
Wait, you're
Yeah.
still older.
Who out there, not anyone in this room, but anyone out there, would like us to reinstitute the weekly challenges? That's what I want to know.
Okay, besides the Xbox Achievements Challenge, what were other examples of the weekly
You have
challenge?
to do.
Hopscotch.
Oh, the magic trick.
Yeah, you have to perform a magic
handball.
trick
Oh.
for somebody.
Okay.
You have to. Josh, what was yours? 10 push-ups, I believe.
No, it's high five
No,
strangers.
I did. Yeah, I did high five 5 random strangers.
Try and have a good cry.
Yeah, are you supposed to record this?
Push-ups. No, but we had some.
Did I do the push-up one too?
Yeah, I think so.
We all did.
Well, yeah.
We also had some great people like D. Magnus who recorded himself doing it with his girl on his back and posted on YouTube.
Wow.
And then
D.
that's when I
Magnus.
did
That's some
the
of the
my
best,
high five. Magnus inspired me to do the high five
High
one
five.
and video
Brilliant.
it.
Really?
So,
That we should consider a little bit more.
so bring it back.
No. We should talk about it a little bit more before we dive right
Before
back
we
into it.
reinstitute
bit
it
of a-
here
just
live
saying-
on the air.
I'm
Bit of a
saying-
structure to it, maybe.
It's fun.
Let's talk about next week.
Let's talk about you and me.
What
Let's
is
talk about
next
next week? E3, baby.
What is E3?
Yeah.
Oh,
Never heard of
boy.
it.
Who's going?
And what are you excited to see? Are you excited to go? Or Jay, I'm excited to hear you're coming now with us.
Yeah.
I am. I'm coming with you guys on Wednesday, right?
Yep.
It's
Yeah.
Wednesday.
Bullshit.
Damn it, Josh!
bad
Did you
thing?
just
I
get
was
Kevin on the
Dog
right
badges.
page with us for once?
We haven't talked about it yet.
Stupid.
Well, they sent an email out to the entire company. I don't know if
So,
you
so,
got
Kurt,
that.
so
you miss
Kurt,
that?
you
You got laid off.
No, I'm going.
Are you
I'm
going?
going. I don't know. I
day
didn't
you
know there
going?
was
You
some
going with
big
us?
Wednesday thing.
Well, you weren't here last week,
bro.
bro.
No, yeah. All right.
You wanna come with
Let's
us?
do it. Yeah, let's do it.
Nice.
All right, Kearney's in.
E3's it ups.
I just have to warn you that E3 with us generally involves
Alcohol.
Hooters wings
Okay, good. I'm in.
Okay.
and some
Beer.
overly made-up girls at Hooters pretending to be waitresses.
And any cosplay women once were there at E3.
Oh, and like several NOS drinks.
Yeah,
Nos Energy, yeah.
That's
I'm into
where I
that.
that was
draw
a
the
big.
line.
That was a big highlight.
into
of
that.
That's where I draw the line.
This doesn't sound anything
Not
like the
strings.
E3 I was at.
You want to come?
No, I'm not going to.
I don't get a guest.
He,
You're welcome
he
to
didn't
come.
want to do that. He didn't want to do
Oh,
that.
you really?
I don't get a guest. You're welcome to come.
Thanks.
Yeah. You can hang out. So the Oya is going to be shown in tents
In the parking
out
lot.
front.
It's about
Parking lot.
it'll be
Booyah.
at
Oh,
the back
seriously?
of the front parking
Yeah.
lot, so you have to walk way away from the door.
But that's silly because it comes out like a week later.
Just want
Should
to
we-
show you.
But
what's
actually,
up.
like playable, like systems there. You can mess
Yeah,
around
I'm
with it.
sure, and I'm sure a lot of the people, because it's all indie devs, are going to be there. So it actually might be a lot of fun.
Didn't
That's
we
a good
say we
place
should
to
just
hang
set up our table and podcast right next to
We
them?
should.
Oh, that would have been funny.
Why
Then,
don't
I'll,
we use
then
their
I'll show
table?
up. If we do that, I'll show. But
Sean will actually fill
Yeah,
the
how's that
paperwork.
work?
I'm,
Do you
I'm
guys need
not
to go and
doing
then come back?
15 sheets of.
I
It
will
wasn't
not be coming
15
back.
sheets.
I think I'm going to.
Might
a
as well
party.
have been.
What party are you going to that you didn't invite me and Jason to?
Women in gaming.
Well, it's I was only invited solo. I'm not allowed to bring anybody.
When was this?
Hey, man, you
Riot
have
Do
to
you hear
Games.
that? Do you hear this?
I know some people at Riot Games.
What is Riot Games? Where are they?
They're in Santa Monica,
Okay.
and they make the game League of Legends, which is a massive MOBA, I believe it's called.
It is a big.
It's a free-to-play game, and they make gigantic amounts of money. And
And it's a professional sport.
Yeah, it's
like
for-
there's a lot of big tournaments for
huge.
that.
Well, I got invited to a party of a company we use for translations. So
Yeah.
I'm going to be at that one.
Yeah, that sounds
Josh,
like a
where's all the
great time.
E3 party invites you used to send out, buddy?
Dude,
None
they
this
all-
year?
They all scale back. They're all pretty tight.
They scale
now.
back, or they just don't want the LeBron.
Dan Camp said he was
After
going
that.
to a party after.
There's the.
Which one's
there
he going
literally
to?
is the women in gaming one that Lennon sent out.
Oh, did he send out like invites to that one?
Yeah, you can RSVP to that one.
I don't believe that women in gaming sounds like a fun party.
Actually, you look at the pictures of like last year's, and it looks pretty fucking awesome.
Where's it at?
Why are you so sexist?
Yeah.
It has nothing to do with
Yeah,
sexist.
what do you got against women?
It sounds like
you got
an
against gaming?
agenda group. Like we have an agenda. We're not here to party, but we have an agenda. That's what it says in the title. To
Yeah,
me.
you can party.
If it was
could be a fun.
if
agenda.
it was men in gaming, I would have just as much of a problem.
But those parties back in the day, I mean, Sony had the one at Dodger Stadium a couple of times.
That's pretty crazy.
And every company had like some big thing where they would just rent out like a giant hall and just go ape shit and stuff like that. And I used to go to so many of those things. And then each year it would be like, you hear anything? It's just like no. And it's like, anybody getting RSVPs? No. Like nobody. They just parties getting smaller and smaller.
Echo didn't invite any of us.
Yeah, I know.
But
I didn't get invited to any other parties though, guys. I didn't get invited to the big one at Dodger Stadium.
you didn't get invited to my birthday party.
that hurt me the most.
Yep.
So I think the one thing that we cannot miss this week is a Kickstarter that came out yesterday.
What, the food?
No, but you do have
Update.
four more days to get
Already
in on
backed
that.
it.
Stretch goals.
No, it's a little project called the Omni.
I've seen people talking about this. Can you tell me about it?
Yes, I can.
expensive.
Thank you.
Elaborate. And
That was pretty
Oh,
nice.
Your
That's
Evernote
the-
didn't have a link to it.
So it didn't. So interesting. So the Omni is a omnidirectional treadmill that doesn't have any moving or mechanical parts. It is a disc that if you it's about yay big. And-
Yay is about 3 feet wide.
Yeah, thank you. And
We will not have video for this podcast.
maybe a little bit more, maybe like 4 feet. But it has special grooves, like these kind of little grooves all throughout, going in a fan, all pointing into the middle. And then you have special shoes that are low friction shoes that have a tiny little hook, I guess, for lack of a better word, that fits into these slots. It's
like a little
kind of
ball.
little ball bearing. Thank you. Yeah, and it fits into these slots. And the idea is, this is so that you can put on VR goggles, like the Oculus Rift is what they demo with. So you can put on the Oculus Rift and you can walk around in the world literally. So you're walking and you want to turn around, you turn around and you start walking. And
How do you get off?
you don't.
It's like the machine the plague uses in Hackers, right?
Yes. Yeah.
Thank you.
And
Hackers
what
reference.
it's fascinating.
Not now.
It's fascinating to me for two reasons. The first of which is they wanted to get $150,000, and they had that in 10 minutes.
Wow.
And they have
Jeez.
currently raised over $500,000.
10 minutes.
Wow.
And the
Minutos.
product itself, you can actually get on Kickstarter. I believe the
What's the cost of it?
250.
Does it
early
convert?
bird.
That was the early bird, and there was only 50 of them.
Yeah, early bird was
Those
$250.
went right away then, huh?
Yeah.
Can it?
There's 300, 350, 400,
all gone.
400, all gone, 400.
It's like 1,500 for your normal one, I think, right?
430.
yeah, 430.
Well, here's
is
the thing. Like,
next
what do
one.
you
Can it convert
outside
into
of having a Rift? What do you? If you had this in your house, what the hell would it do other than sit in a corner and you put your
That's what I was
dog or
wondering.
cat on?
Can
it?
you convert it into a
Well, it's supposed to be
coffee
able
table?
to take. You're supposed to be able to take the side poles off, I guess,
Uh-huh.
if you will, and be able to slide it and store it as if you would like an exercise piece of equipment.
You convert it
So,
into
so they're
a
saying you
coffee
use it
table.
as a treadmill.
You could,
Well,
yeah,
I mean-
because they talk about how the benefits of if you can go on a jog. It literally says that you can go on like a jog in the morning, like in Skyrim. So you can just like go and just
But
run
this is
around.
back to like this only really works if you have.
No, I mean, I can
Yeah,
imagine you have
Oculus.
a TV.
The Oculus
a
Rift, I don't-
I can imagine you have a TV in front of you, and maybe you're playing a shooter game, and you have the gun controller.
But
whatever,
how do you turn
and
around?
You're just you wouldn't.
Oh.
You would just go straight.
Yeah, this is what we're getting at. I'm just saying this is a really expensive furniture to sit in a fucking corner doing nothing unless I've bought whatever the cost of an Oculus Rift is.
It's like a husky. They just can run straight lines.
I think they should do some kind of partnering together.
I have an
maybe?
idea.
Like some kind of sell
Let's
together.
open our own Kickstarter to convert that into a coffee table.
With like legs underneath, you can flip it over. Like,
Hey, look at my new coffee table.
Look at
Kinda
my
chic,
Omni
eh?
coffee table.
how much does that cost you? $1,500.
They showed off a couple of different things in the video. You got to check it out. I sent out the link to anyone who's currently streaming. I will also put it out on Facebook.
Put it on Facebook now. Yeah.
And I'll tweet it. Why not? While we're at it, bam,
Twatter.
sent to everybody. All right. So they showed gameplay, obviously, with the the Rift, and you hold a gun and you can run this way and run that way. And then they said, but it's also you can get great exercise. And I thought sounds really stupid. And then they showed In the Oculus Rift, it's just a world, a CG world, and it's it was a really pretty CG world, and literally you're just running along a path. Like your whatever avatar, and what you're seeing is just this virtual world, and you're just running. And so I thought that's a fascinating idea, mainly for areas of, say, like that have really bad weather, like Alaska or northern United States, Ireland, Iceland.
But it's actually, now that you say that, I think it's still pretty interesting. Like you can do, like, if you're gonna run on a treadmill, you can run anywhere, and like I'm sure it's not like the fidelity's so amazing that you feel like you're there, but it's still kind of cool. Like if you're gonna run, it's like that zombie app, right? Like if you could run with the zombies or whatever, and you could do that, but with it in full 3D or whatever.
Or you could run up the side of a building, which would be kind of neat.
Yeah,
or out in space,
or run and have boobs. Like you run, but you look down and you have boobs. Where did these come from? These are amazing. Did you see every day? You see your wives every morning.
All you got to do.
Why are you always on that running every day?
All you got to do is play Saints Row in it all the time.
She would get on and be like, "Wow, this is me. I don't get it. It's not what seems so excited."
We're using the same avatar.
You change them up every day.
It would be interesting if you could add resistance somehow to like the shoe bearings, so that you can run through mud.
Because my problem is that how natural it feels too. Because
Yeah.
like watching the video, he seems, and again, like I don't know, like it's hard to tell like what it feels like. But he looks like he's very
like he's
methodically walking. Yeah, like that he has to put effort into it.
Imagine how fucked you'd be if you tripped and fucking fell with a rift on your head and just
with this big expense.
I think the thing
Well, you
is,
have
nobody walks like that.
ring.
Do they have that on that one too? Do they have the ring, the old VR ring that you can't like?
Yeah, I mean it's a they have the ring around, and there's a belt that goes onto it that allows him not to fall.
Do you really think that if you like seriously tripped, you wouldn't just knock that shit apart? And fall over. Like you take the whole thing down with you.
Okay, I hadn't seen it. I look over at Jason. I'm
gigantic.
like, that's fucking huge. Okay, that's sitting in your house. You're like, what's other than it being a talking piece with people come in and go, go ahead, walk on it. Isn't that cool?
Check it out.
What else
It's
is it?
cool that they're making it though. I
No,
mean, like,
it's an expensive Oculus Rift accessory.
so my first
Mad Cats should make it for like $20.
my first thing was it's pretty impressive that they wanted 150, they got $500,000, and they have 46 days to go. And
That's a long-ass Kickstarter.
I don't know how much percent funded.
Why not, dude? If you're already
But
going that.
what I find fascinating is that indicates obviously that there's demand, and I think that I've wondered if we have gotten used to this idea of a flat screen with a certain kind of handheld controller or a mouse and keyboards in our hand as a culture, as a gaming culture. If we had gotten used to that, and what the Oculus Rift and this are saying to me, and things like the Razer, and Kinect, it's saying that there's experimentation in the industry, but there's also demand for that experimentation. Not just, hey, we're trying to try new things, but there's literally a large chunk of people that are so interested in this different types of gaming that projects are getting overly funded because of this.
Maybe the military has funded it for training purposes.
Could be.
Well, there's only 1,500 backers. Like, can you? Really
Is there that many Rifts out there right now?
I don't know, and I'm just like curious. Like 1,500 backers, and I'm sure Notch was one of them, and he paid $10,000. And
There's one $10,000 back.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah, well, that's it. Well, hey, dude, if you got money to blow, why the fuck not get a treadmill that goes in 360?
And I think it's great, because it's probably going to lead to the next one that's even better. But like, I don't know. It just
They had a bigger one. So that video that we did a while back that we sent out, where the guy did the Battlefield tech demo, he had basically that. But remember, it was just bigger.
Mm-hmm.
He had a bigger volume that he did it in. But it was that octagon style treadmill, like you could walk any direction and it would.
Was
just
that
pick
ball,
up.
that huge ball?
When he was in
that
the
you were
dome,
inside?
it was a 180 that would stay on his perspective. That shit was sick because you didn't need goggles. He was just in the fucking game.
He was like in a dome within a dome.
I find
Paintballs firing at him and shit. It was awesome.
If you had a product you were super passionate about and you had the opportunity to pledge $9,999 or $10,000, what would you choose?
That's a good question.
Hovercraft.
So $1,000 if something I would back a product.
$10,000.
There's $10,000 or $9,999.
That'd be a tough one.
I'd
You could buy
pledge
a-
Part of
Here's
it's
my
things that
water
aren't
for
you don't
genie
even
lamp.
know. You know what I mean?
Home automated autonomous car driving kit. I would invest $10,000.
So that's a DIY thing. You got to set it up yourself.
$10,000, but you wouldn't pay $9,999.
Wait, what?
You're missing the point.
Absolutely not.
There are two different levels on this.
There's one right below. What does the 10,000 get you on that one compared to the other
10,000
one?
is called, it's long. I'll just say it's called VR Champion, and 9,999 is called Original Prototype.
Wait, there's $1 between the two?
Uh-huh.
Is there a difference in how many you can get?
The Original Prototype you can only get one of.
Oh, okay.
Or maybe that's it. Maybe you're buying that one.
Yeah.
But why is it $1 less?
Because it's not new.
Because it's a piece of shit. It's a prototype.
Yeah, I was just saying it could fall apart.
They should have called it VR Hero, and then they could have a theme song.
Gyro.
Yes.
I would back for 10,000. I would maybe, if I had 10,000 to do this, but like a really, really dope ass home automation system that actually did everything I've ever wanted a home automation system to do.
You mean like the Xbox One?
Automation system, like a full, like they gave you all the crap that comes with it. Something like on August.com, the door locking Bluetooth mechanisms, like that's part of it.
Segue.
Oh, and it felt good this time. That really rolled right into that. So Dan Camp actually is on the list to get one of these, and it's what I like better about this locking system. The first one I ever saw was one from a company called Lockatron, and it was actually on Shark Tank.
That sounds
I
fake.
thought you were talking about the Omni. I was like, he's getting one of
No,
these.
no. I've segued off to another product that I maybe had a Kickstarter at one point, but so on Shark Tank they had this thing called Lockatron, and basically you could fit it onto a deadbolt behind, and it's same tech. You had an app, and it worked Bluetooth. This one looks so much more streamlined compared to the other one. The other one seemed really wonky and cheap looking. I don't know if you guys went to the site and looked at this thing, but it's pretty damn sick. And I still think that tech is amazing, that they should start to try to integrate that more actually into the locking systems in general, so you don't even have to put anything on it. But as an actual lock for your door, I think the system's like what, $250? I think is what
It's
it is.
not too bad.
200. But basically, I like the invite stuff. Like I could send out like, "Hey Jay, dude, you coming over later tonight?" No, I'm gonna send you an invite, and it gives you an invite just for the night. Mm-hmm. And you
That's
show up,
cool.
you show up to the house, and the door automatically unlocks when you show up to the house and just come in.
Yeah.
Like I don't have to open it for you.
That's an accident waiting to happen.
Well, I would
Party
never
at
invite
Jack's.
you, Kearney.
Party
What's
at
up?
Jack's.
Party invite. Hey.
That would be pretty useful for hotels, I would imagine.
Yeah, I would think so as
Be able to
well.
get into
Yeah,
the
I didn't
rooms.
even actually think of that. That
Yeah.
would probably be cool. I mean, I was thinking of the downsides too. Obviously, whoever's using this, first of all, I was like, this would be great for, say, the maid I have now. But then I started thinking, does my maid have an iPhone? Does she have because I'm guessing you'd have to send it to somebody who's has some kind of smartphone where they can read an email, accept that, and it's Bluetooth.
Yeah.
So, I mean, I guess it's expecting everybody in this day and age is going to have that technology, but luckily it still uses a key, but
Yeah.
you'd be right back to hiding a key.
Yeah, but I feel like too, like it would be great. I was thinking it'd be great because at my apartment building they don't give out main entry keys. So like if I wanted to get my farm fresh vegetables or whatever delivered, I can't do that. I actually get them delivered at work. And I was like, well, if this would be great for that, I can give them a pass. But then I was thinking, what if the driver he has a pass to my apartment? I don't know this guy. He can get inside of my house.
Well, it's limited time, and you set that. My understanding, you set that time.
Yeah.
They show the example in the video. If you go to the www.august.com, they actually show the video of the brother-in-law staying with him or the brother staying with him, and they you can give them a day, you can give them a week, you can give them a month, but you're setting limits on when they can use that.
I wonder how if they're gonna do the hack challenge or whatever, hack this thing we'll give you $10,000 because it seems like that's the next thing is if your door lock is automated and it's if it's a mechanical thing, then people are going to be able to hack that. I mean, I guess it's the same
I would
thing as
assume
lockpicks, right?
Yeah, I
it's-
feel like lockpicks are easier. Than
Easy
Well, and it
money.
still has a key, right? So this device is just tying into your already existing. It's kind of like Lockatron, but this one looked like you actually had to take the lock off and then tie it in. The other
Every time you
other
say
ones-
Lockatron, I think Lockosaurus.
I think a Megatron.
That's what I was thinking.
I would have went Megatron. I might have went
like
Lockosaurus.
Lockatron.
That's okay. Look, the next idea going for the Kickstarter from Nerdtastic in 3D is Lockosaurus.
Lockosaurus.
Look out for it on Kickstarter.
Yeah. If
There
you
are
can't,
nothing to do with doors.
if you're not allowed in, it will bite your face off.
There are
Rhaptosaurus.
there are a lot of things that I'm super amped to embrace new technology on. This one scares me.
You just think you think it'd be too easy to get in?
I don't know. I can't say easy, but it's got to
I
be
can-
easier than the old.
I can guarantee you, if you have this lock on your door and someone really wants to get in your house, they're going to be like, there's a window right over there. On the brick. Like, it's
Do you
not
know what it
gonna
is?
matter.
You know how I look at this? So my car right now, if I'm in proximity of it, it unlocks for me.
Yeah.
No.
So this is basically the same tech, just to your home. You know what? So I guess the only difference would be if you didn't lock your smartphone, and if you're not doing that, you should be doing that, is if somebody got your phone, they managed to figure out who you are on the phone, you had your address, and then they somehow knew enough about apps to realize, okay, they have the August lock on their car. I'm now going to go to 772 whatever to get in. That's a lot of know-how.
That's not very far-fetched, though. I mean,
I
you
mean,
can
maybe
imagine-
not. But
Well, think about it. If you're taking pictures in your house and those have GPS EXIF data, all you got to do is look at that, and you're like, okay, well, I have your address, even if it's not in your phone. Now
But
I have your address.
we're imagining that criminals
that's my point.
who are
yeah.
breaking into people's houses to make money know about metadata that's stored in your photos. Like, I don't know. I just feel like
There are a lot of white-collar criminals
It's
out there. my friend.
possible.
who are breaking into people's houses to
They're-
steal things. Like, I
No,
just
they
don't
break
see
into
that.
casinos.
Yeah, I just feel like if
Ocean's
you're
11.
that good that you're like, I'm
impressive.
going to hack a house.
Have you guys ever seen?
You have to know a
could get a
house
really
could be
good
hacked.
job.
I feel this tech
Yeah.
is so new.
Have you guys ever seen that show where the guy would actually steal people's shit? He
Yeah,
would,
like
we're
he's
gonna
a
go into your house.
reformed
We're gonna
criminal?
Steal your shit.
Yeah,
he's a
to,
reformed
like,
criminal to show them like
yeah.
how to generate.
That show's super cool.
That show is very awesome.
I've not seen that.
Oh, it's so good.
Was
I
there
don't
any,
think it's on
really-
anymore.
Was there
Yeah.
secure homes that they actually still broke into, like pretty secure homes?
A couple
No, they
of
had
them.
like some
So
of them
they,
had
yeah,
like,
they bring people on, and these are people that are like curious about their home security, and they're like, well, we don't know like what we're in store for if someone comes through and wants to steal anything. So it's like, okay, I'm gonna check out your shit. I'm gonna actually what they do is they go scope out houses, and then they find a house, and they're like,
Yeah.
we're gonna approach these people with this. Proposition. We're going to steal all your shit, and you're going to watch from
and they
the
don't
van,
and they well no I
and
think
we're
they
going to
also
tell you
don't,
all of the stuff that's wrong.
Yeah, don't they don't tell them when to? They're like, oh, just live your life, and then like one
Right.
week, like they're walking out, and they're like,
Exactly.
they go and rob the house, and then when they come back, they go, okay, watch this video, and they have them watch it, and so you have picture in picture of the people
them
watching, like,
watching
oh
all the
my
stuff.
god,
And they time it, so like it's like it's ridiculous. It's like 6 minutes, and they're gone with all of your shit and your dog and everything. Like they've got it down.
and sometimes
So-
they'll like kidnap and kill your kid just to like be
Are
like,
they
look,
like
I can
pulling?
kill
Are they
your
doing
kid.
the? Are they doing the daytime? Or are they doing it at night?
in
Don't-
the day?
they do
It
it-
doesn't
they do-
matter.
they
Like,
do it
Like
every
with a
day.
big
doesn't
truck,
matter.
like a moving truck.
No, they can like get in and out with like
Van,
they'll pull in
pickup
with
truck.
a van like
Yeah.
into your garage. Like one guy will hop in a window, open up the garage, van goes in the garage, fill up the van, open the garage, close the garage. Like
There's dude. They
Kill
were in,
your
like,
daughter.
They were in like Cedar Rapids or something like that. This dude got in. He got into the house. I can't remember. He got in through the garage by like jimmying the garage up and then getting inside and like doing something. And the garage opened up, and the dude had like a Lamborghini and a Mustang in his garage. And then he went in and stole all the shit in the house, and then he drove away in the car.
And the Lamborghini
Yeah.
just took it.
There was another episode where
what I
the
would've
dude,
done.
the dude goes through stealing all the shit. It's actually two guys, right? So they go through, they're stealing all the shit. And at the end, he's like, yo, come on. And the dog hops up into the van with them, and he takes their dog away with him, too. I really like that dog. I didn't really want to give it back.
so much. I'd see Captain Jack. Okay, I'm in.
Yeah.
I don't know you, but I'm coming.
But
So,
it's pretty
I think
funny.
in general, home security. If they're going to get in, they're going to get in. I mean,
Yeah.
your alarm's one thing, but do they go into houses with alarms and they just disable it really
yeah,
fast?
they know how to do that stuff. But I mean, like, I also feel like there is a certain class of criminal that is going to break into a certain class of home.
Sure.
Right? And that I feel like if you're able to automate, like, I'm sure what could happen is that this could become so ubiquitous that everybody has one, and then it becomes like everybody has an iPhone now.
Then that's
but
a
the
little
iPhone
scary.
used to be
Or maybe it's scary.
something that not everyone
Right.
had. So maybe that could happen, but I think realistically what's going to happen is the people that can actually figure this stuff out, because like so much of our lives are on computers now that like you could hack my bank account and steal all my money, but nobody does, because somebody who has that skill set isn't going to go after my bank account. They're going to go after a bigger bank account, right? Like, and I feel the same way with my apartment. Like, you put this on my apartment in Sherman Oaks, it's like, nobody's going to be like, who's like, oh, I got this great plan. We're going to hack in and steal Sean's television that's like 3 years old. Like, what are you going to take from me that's worth all the effort you put into
I literally was
hacking
looking on the
my
most smallest scale of I just want to be able to give this to my maid so I don't have to stick a key outside.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But that's the thing is that they're not going to learn how to do that. They're going to find someone on the internet is going to find a crack and generate
Yeah.
an app, and then they're just going to be like, boop, oh, it's unlocked.
That's
Cool,
true.
Right?
They do that with cars right now.
They're
You
not
see
going to
that?
do it the hard way. They're going to do it the easy way or the fast
There's
way.
these hackers that have done a device to where, because of the, smart key sort of things, they just walk up and within a second your car is unlocked and they just drive off with it.
So I'm gonna change subjects real quick. I'm gonna tell you guys a story. I don't know if we've gotten too much into this on the show, but everybody's come from really diverse backgrounds. I don't mean ethnically. I mean I'm a small town kid from a farming community, and went to school to study computer science, and ended up not doing very well. So I switched over to media communications because that seemed more fun. So through
Jason was born a woman.
Yes.
Jason Pecco.
yeah. So through it's a shock look
He's
on
like,
his
I
face.
can't believe you told that.
So through school, I went to school in San Diego. I got hooked up with the San Diego Film Festival, and I was the screener for the short film division. So the film festival gets hundreds, sometimes thousands of short films from all over the country and the world sometimes that submit. And obviously we're not going to show all of those in a film festival, so somebody has to be there to screen out the junk. So that was my job. And it was actually a super fun job. And there's two stories that tie back to this job. The first of which is there's one movie that came through there, one short film called Walk and Talk.
Is Christopher Walken in it?
Yeah, well, so it was, the gist was there was a social disorder where this brother, this man, had a disorder where he could not talk to another human being except in Christopher Walken lines from Christopher Walken movies.
Two mice.
Sounds dumb.
Bowl
Sounds dumb,
of
but
milk.
first of all, it was actually a really heavily produced thing. Charlie from Lost, his older brother in the show, was the main character, so it had some legit actors in it. And the production
from Lost's older brother. I don't even know his name.
You said that. All the rest of the guys in the room looked at each other like, Jay.
We all nodded our heads.
as opposed to the local grandma.
yes, that
acting.
guy.
Anyways, had somebody who had some acting.
It would have been
Famous
more
fan.
impressive if someone puzzed it out with a name like, oh, you mean blah.
Yeah.
None of us
Holy
knew
shit.
who you were talking about.
Anyways,
Brendan Fraser.
so the
Even he passed.
I watched
Brendan Fraser's
I watched this
second
thing,
cousin.
and every once in a while, like it pops back into my brain, and I'll go back and I'll watch it. And it just so happened that but I had been at Dreamworks for about 5 years, and it popped back into my head. So I was like, I'm going to go look it up on YouTube and go watch it again. So it's called Walk.
So
and
it's on
Talk.
YouTube. Oh.
And
Post it.
I will. And I'm watching it, and there's a scene that's a good chunk of the movie takes place in. So I won't spoil anything. The gist of the story is there's a brother who has this social disorder, and he is going out to dinner with his brother, who has just recently become engaged, to meet his fiancée. Okay, that's the gist of the story. Or all you need to know, at least. And so a majority of the movie takes place in a restaurant. And I'm looking at this after, again, have been at DreamWorks for about 5 years. And it dawns on me that it looks really familiar. And it turns out it was shot in the DreamWorks commissary.
Really?
Yes.
Oh, really?
Yes.
But you had obviously you hadn't seen it.
Nope.
And-
I had, and so you talk about where, and it turns out that it was produced by a girl who used to work at DreamWorks, years before or whatever. And so, crazy tie-in story. So the second story is the woman who ran the San Diego Film Festival. Amazing woman, name is Robin Latz. Awesome woman. I hit it off really well with her in doing this short film screening thing. And she found out that I was really interested in film. And it just so happened that her husband was an independent filmmaker. And so I got connected with him, and I became an assistant editor on a late-night made-for-sci-fi movie called The Unknown, which is about Bigfoot. Yes. Now,
No, that's Chewbacca.
Carl,
It might as well be, though.
He's a Wookiee.
Carl, the filmmaker, awesome guy. Honestly, a huge influence only in that I found out that there were actually nice people in this industry. Like someone who was like, hey, you want to learn something? Cool, ask questions. I'm all about it. Like, I'm not an expert. They live down in San Diego, so they weren't super connected to the industry, but whatever you want, I can tell you about it. So you guys know I've done this Kickstarter campaign. It turns out Carl has apparently abandoned filmmaking,
Yeah.
and he has created a company,
Okay.
the Trackline Belt. Any of you guys heard about this?
Is that a new kind of belt for men?
It was on Shark Tank
Ooh, love that show.
and has gone to Kickstarter, and he was looking for a little bit less than $15,000 to get this belt off the ground. Currently, he is sitting at $250,000.
All right, what's the
Wait, did
belt.
he? Hold on, really quick.
For
did
your
he
pants.
He didn't get funded on Shark Tank.
You know, I don't actually know. I just found out
Okay.
today it was on Shark Tank. But
Okay.
here's the gist of the belt: is there are no belt holes in it.
Okay.
There's a ratcheting system on the back side of the belt. So instead of having, 8 holes in your belt or whatever it is, this has like 40 different possible positions so you can get a belt that fits you exactly right. And they're really nice high-end belts. They're not cheap. I think that the cheapest you can get one is $60. But really cool belts.
It probably last longer too. The belts keep
Yeah.
falling apart because you're putting in the same hole
But
every time.
I just sorry,
She
it was just
said-
a very
You never
small
wanna do
world.
that.
That's what she said.
Put it in the same hole every time. Come on, it's just wearing it out.
It's just a very small world story that I had to share. So
Did
if
Carl reach out to you and go, "Hey, dude, we're both Kickstarting buddies"?
No, not at all. In fact, I found this through Facebook. But I was, you go and you click on like what are the whatever staff picks for Kickstarter and like or what's popular this week, and it's like everybody on the Trackline belt because this thing's getting like huge. So it's got this ratcheting system. So I'll send it out right now. But
It's like Batman's belt. He invented Batman's belt.
Yeah, that's a real belt. Let's shit out,
real.
man.
So
You
it's in
could
the front.
ratchet yourself up
Okay,
to a building.
when you originally explained this to me,
Slowly.
it made it sound like the tightening mechanism was on the back side of the belt.
Yeah,
like,
that's what it sounded like you
It's on
said.
the
like
back
back,
side.
no,
It's on the front.
ask Josh. Like it's actually on the front, like you normally would.
It's
It
your
just
belt
has
buckle.
a,
The
front-
it's on the
back
belt
of
buckle.
the
The way Jason had explained this, I think to me and Josh, it was on the very back of the belt. Like is that how you took
it's
it?
on
so
the
someone
back
could
side
come
of
up
the
to you and
belt.
just
No,
undo
dude,
your
No,
belt.
you
That's
even
not-
you even
Josh,
you
back me
even
up.
put your hands
you put your hand
behind your back.
Oh, you're all idiot.
You
Literally-
just did
you
that.
did.
No.
Literally.
Like, it's behind
Yes,
the back.
thank you.
It's behind.
No.
No, that's the utility slot. That's where you put.
Yeah.
the
Literally, I was thinking to myself, I go, so every morning I have to have somebody ratchet my ass into the
It's like a girdle.
I'm like,
my
whip,
ass.
it fits fine. I can't get it off the rest of the day.
No, so it's a
front buckle system.
it's the buckles in the front. The ratcheting system is in the front of your body, but the part of the belt
How
that's
about the
facing
back
your
of the
body.
buckle?
There you
Back
go.
of the buckle.
It's not on the back of the buckle. It's on the belt. The back side of the belt.
It's the inside of the front of
Have
the
you ever
belt.
seen the
Front of the-
Have you ever gone to the Jungle
Okay.
Cruise and seen the back side of water?
What?
That doesn't make
On
any
the
sense.
jungle,
That's, you lost every
On the
you lost
Jungle
us
Cruise.
and everybody.
I wish
on
I
this.
had
I
this is
understand
I wish I had my
Kickstarter corner.
soundboard
It
right
is
now.
just not apt.
So backside of
Josh, we
water.
need to get on that. That needs to be the next purchase of soundboard.
Speaking of Kickstarter, did you hear Zynga laid off 520 people?
Bad segue to depressing news.
Did you Did you guys know anybody over there?
Yeah, I had a friend.
Did you?
Mm-hmm.
Was part of the 5?
Part of the 5, yeah. She was
had a friend.
Yeah, I had a friend. I disowned her as a friend after that. No, she was a really good artist who came through the
Say
program.
what
and
again?
I came through
Say
the-
what again? I dare you. I double dare you, motherfucker. Say what one more goddamn time.
We're talking about laid off Zynga
where's that?
employees.
Yeah.
You go there.
What?
Anyway, she was a really talented artist who worked at Zynga, and if you guys are looking to hire somebody out there in Radioland,
Was she a modeler, 2D artist?
2D artist.
Okay.
2D, like she was doing concept work for us at Disney, and then was working on all the Ville games. I think the Farmvilles and all those.
Can you get her back over?
Doing 2D.
You two pull some strings.
I don't know.
I don't think we're hiring
Yeah, I
anybody.
don't know if we're hiring anyone soon, but
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm lucky.
I mean, the only reason why I bring it up is just that like everybody loves to hate Zynga, and I mean, like, yeah, it's the executive's fault, but 520 people lost their jobs.
Zynga hates Zynga.
Yeah, you know, and the craziest part of it is they bought that company OMG Pop last year for Draw Something, and they closed. That was one of the studios they closed down. So it's kind of one of those things that, like, one, yeah, the gaming industry is rapidly changing right now, but two, like, they sort of heavily invested up front on social, and that was going to be the future, and it kind of took a swing towards mobile, and plus they weren't. I don't think that Zynga was really innovating on anything. They made Farmville and they knocked it out of the park with that. And then after that, every other game they made was a clone of either that game or somebody else's game. So it just kind of shows you where that lead you. Like, just we're going to keep making money, and then all of a sudden it's just like, well, nobody's buying those types of games anymore. And
I think that's tough for. I mean, could we argue that for most, I think game studios, let's even go further than that. Let's say most even movie studios, isn't that the struggle, right? I mean, you can knock it out of the park with one. I think maybe even more so in mobile games, but then to keep, let's say, innovating, which I guess in our eyes would be a new kind of game altogether. You guys, is there many you can think of that have really done that well? And I'm not excluding you guys. I mean, you guys are still working on this stuff, so.
Did you find a soundboard?
Yeah, he's playing. He's just bad timing with it.
It was
but
my
I'm just
fault.
curious.
I hate it timing wise. It played.
Are there many studios that you could think of? I mean, there's a couple. Like I think Valve's done an amazing job.
Yeah.
But I think they have so much money to spend time not releasing shit.
Yeah, it's because
Nintendo's internal teams seem to do pretty well, or at least are hiding the fact that they're laying off people, especially with the ebbing and flowing of Nintendo. Like, you really didn't hear anything after the GameCube kind of sucked. You didn't hear anything after the 3DS sucked. You're not hearing anything now that the Wii U's kind of sucking in sales. Like, they seem to be doing well, and I don't know if they're just playing their cards correctly, or
do you think it's a lot of layoffs
being
back
conservative?
Far east and not so much here in the States?
I feel like you'd hear about it. I feel like if
you think you would? You think we would hear about it?
I feel like if Nintendo laid people off, you'd hear about it. And I also would like to point out that I am not wearing headphones, so I'm not hearing any of this except when you played it so loud
that it came through.
The Sam Jackson one, that I could hear it in Carter's headphones. No, don't give me headphones. I like this.
But do you think there's a lot of mobile gaming companies that are like have been just straight up successful every single time?
I mean, like, one that comes to mind is Nimblebit. I really like the games they've made. They've kind of innovated
every time.
Well,
they're not really innovated every time.
There's like 15 people. I think somebody actually made a point about it where they said, with the Zynga layoff, they said it's like they laid off. What did they said something along the lines of, it's like they laid off 100 Nimblebits or something like that. Like that the scope isn't as big. Like the amount of people isn't that big.
Just grew too fast.
Snickle fits.
Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I guess so. Like, I don't know like all the business stuff. I just know that every game that Zynga put out just felt like another version of the same game that wasn't really that different.
And I think it's tough out in the Bay Area too, because you're trying to recruit people. Like, I even know, like, I've just heard anecdotally about the things that they do at Zynga from looking at friends who work at Zynga on Facebook. Like, they spend a lot of money on stuff that's like morale boosting sort of things.
We talked about the Halo lunchroom where you could play, like 50 people could play at the same time. Kind of
and
shit.
the zombie day and the this and that, where they spend. I would imagine that their overhead per employee is probably like 200%, and so everybody is so expensive there because you have to be.
But it's a lot of times. I had a few friends that were like interviewing up there when like 2K was cutting a lot of stuff too.
Yeah.
Thank you, Arnold. And but they were in their interviews becoming like very, we're not going to pay you much, and you'll be very lucky that you even like I've got an interview and that you're going to work here, sort of thing. So it was very like kind of. I would say what Google's maybe attitude is now.
That's bullshit. That's what I was going to go with, though, was like, I think a lot of studios and startups, and I don't blame them, are wanting to try to mimic that Google atmosphere of, we're going to develop creativity. And it's going to be through the form of, probably not. But Arnie, I will fight the fact saying that I think that's what they're doing.
I'm done now. I can't do this. I just can't.
Somebody take that computer away from me.
I hate to segue into this stupid Arnold soundboard, but I have two pretty funny stories about the Arnold soundboard. One,
E-Bombs World.
When's
the last time you heard that website?
One was I remember in high school I would blow off a 5th and 6th period and go to a friend's house and call people that were in class and do the Arnold soundboard. But when we first started doing it, we didn't know where to get the Arnold soundboard.
In 5th and 6th grade, you called people in class?
No, in 5th and 6th period in high school.
Kearney's 19.
Wait, in high school, your friends had phones?
Yeah.
And you're...
Wow. If
you're younger than me.
Yeah, you're younger than me.
But we didn't have phones.
Yeah. Well,
it's California.
The first time I did this was 2005, I think, with the Jack Black one. And we call people in our office, and we'd be like, and he would be like, hey, what are you doing? Because he talks in like the Tenacious D albums, so it's like there's so many like little clips. It's just like, I need some money. And so like we would be doing these things.
Do it in. This was probably 2000. This was like 2000. we'd do it, and but we didn't have the soundboard at first, and so we would just call people and go, "Hello, who is your daddy, and what does he?" And we just say it. But then the best is
Even better.
we
You didn't have the sound.
because we didn't know the
Human
soundboard
soundboard.
existed. We just knew that there were like
You really were just
YouTube
doing
things.
it. So you were ahead of your. You
We
were
were
like,
ahead of the soundboard.
ahead of the soundboard.
But the soundboard
Okay.
existed. We just didn't know how to get it. So then, even better though, is a friend of mine got Arnold Schwarzenegger's phone number, and I forget how he got it. I think he was like working on a film set or
This
something.
story just got a little more interesting.
Right, so he got his phone number, and we would call his house, and of course he has like an answering service, right? So like he never picked up the phone, but we would call his home number, and then we'd use the soundboard to try and get them to like patch us through, and finally we would say a bunch of things, and then one of us would get on and go, "Hey, can I talk to Maria?" Put Maria on the phone because they were together back then, and it was.
I wish
it
you
never
would have
it
picked
never
up.
worked.
I wish you would have
Oh
picked
man,
I'm a cop, damn you.
Yeah,
Who was that?
Dude, is it the E-Bombs world where he calls Gateway? Because
I've been doing cock push-ups.
There it is.
that's the best.
Yeah,
that to
the
me, that's the
Gateway
best
ones are
Arnie
the
one
best.
period when he
Yeah.
calls about the computer.
And
He's
they
like,
keep them
what
going.
kind of computer do you have, sir? No, in that processor. A loaded computer. She pauses. She's like, okay.
Yeah. No, can we just hold on? Okay, Carter, can you just play? Let's just play that whole one. It's like 2 minutes long, and it is brilliant.
Oh, Gateway is so awesome.
What is it? Where am I
It's
going?
Arnold Schwarzenegger Gateway Computer.
Have
It
you
is
heard
old,
you've
but
heard
it's
the
so amazing.
Arnold's Pizza Shop one too, right?
Yeah, that one's good, but
That
the
one's really
Gateway
good.
one is like
I don't think I heard the
Gateway
Gateway one.
She's so confused.
Gateway prank call.
Gateway prank call.
Yeah.
Like it is where like just we can play the whole thing. It can't
The
be
computer
that
part, I
long.
lose it. It's a no net processor unloading. She's like, okay.
I'm not familiar
Says
with that
it's
model.
7.
Thanks for calling Gateway. We're putting people before technology. My name is Cassie. What's yours?
I'm Detective John Kimball.
John, how are you doing tonight?
How are you?
Good. Are you looking at possibly adding on to your gateway?
Yeah.
Okay. Have you had your gateway for more than 30 days, John?
Yes.
Okay. And did you purchase it for use in your home or for
Yeah.
business? For home?
Yes.
Okay. And was the gateway for use inside the United States only?
Yes.
Okay. I kind of have bad news for you, John. The add-on sales department that you'll need to talk to is closed for the evening.
Come on, don't bullshit me.
No, I'm not. Their hours are 7 a.m. to 10 p.m. Monday through Friday, and that's Central Standard Time.
Well, you must be very proud of yourself.
Yeah.
They're also open from 8 a.m. to 7 p.m. on Saturday and Sunday.
What's the matter?
So if I could have you just call back, just call back this number.
You son of a bitch.
And, John,
Yeah.
I'm sorry about that, but there's nothing that I can do. The department is closed, right?
Stop it!
Well, if you call back,
Stop
during those,
whining.
if you just call back during one of those times tomorrow, John, add-ons will be able to help you out, okay?
Negative.
I want to ask you a bunch of questions, and I want to have them answered immediately.
Well, what kind of questions were you going to ask?
First, I would like to just get to know you.
Well, John, I'm not in the sales department, so I'm not going to be able to help you with the computer. Do you already have a gateway?
Who are you?
My name is Cassie.
Yeah.
Or do you already have a gateway, John?
My CPU is a neural net processor, a learning computer.
Okay. And you were looking at
Stop
adding...
it! Give me your address.
Okay, John, I'm sorry, but you're going to need to call and talk to add-ons tomorrow, okay?
Stop whining.
Thanks for calling Gateway.
Oh my god.
She has no response to the neural net processor at all.
Okay.
Okay.
Oh man, it hurts. That's so hard.
So my favorite one of those was the Snakes on a Plane, the Samuel L. Jackson, where you could type in someone's name and give some details about them. And
Yeah.
you would call, and it sounded pretty legit. I don't know if that's still.
That was a good one. I had a friend of mine is like a commercial actor, and he was in a Dell commercial, I think, or
This isn't the dude who does porn?
Dude, you're getting Adele?
This is what?
This isn't the guy who does porn.
No, not that guy.
Okay.
No, this guy. He was in.
many friends
it
do
was
you
called.
have?
No, it was MSN, and it was
Growing up here.
No one wants to look dumb is what it was called. Like that was the campaign. And so they did one of those things, right, where my buddy did all the voices. Like he recorded like 1 million different lines. And so in those, the coolest thing about them is you could put the from for the caller ID. So you could put what it showed on caller IDs. And so for like the next month after he did this campaign, and I don't know why anyone would use it because like nobody knew my buddy, so there was like kind of weird. But I would get like probably twice a day, I'd get a phone call from my friend Mark, and I go like, Mark, and I go like, oh, hey. I'd answer the phone and go like, hey, Sean. I'd be like, hey, Mark, what's going on, man? I've been meaning to call you. And then he'd go, no one wants to look dumb, so you should use MSN, blah, blah, blah. Because they could program it in to, like, say shit, and it said my name, and it had his phone number. And it was, like,
awesome.
one of the best, like, that was, like,
Uses of
probably
that
one of the
tech.
best uses of that tech ever was just to prank specific friends of the actor.
My voicemail greeting for a while was, "Hey, sorry, how's it going?
The pause.
Yeah, you're
Hello?
Like Archer?
Are you there? I can't hear you if you're talking."
Mother.
You and your people have
I
made
don't
me
know.
so angry in the past.
Sean,
My
I
people?
still give you props for
Whoever else
pranking the phones in the Apple Store.
Oh,
I think
man.
that's still to me is.
By the
is
way,
some of
shout out number 2 for the Korean Kilak.
Kalak.
But that is
for
kind of-
podcast bombing the Apple Store.
But that is kind of Kim Jong-un of me, right? Like, that's a very Kim Jong-un move, is to prank call the Apple Store. Like, I wouldn't pass it by him to be like, all right, I got a big plan how we're going to fuck with the U.S. And they're like, what do you want to do? Like, should we kill the president? He's like, no. What we're going to do is we're going to fuck up President Obama's Twitter feed. You know what I mean? Like, that's the link that he's
You guys
going
are
to go.
practically
yeah.
best friends.
Me and Obama or me and Kim Jong-un?
Kimmy Jongs.
K-Jongs?
K Jungs.
What can I
Jong
say?
the Un.
We both like the 98 Bulls.
K Dub Un.
K Juggun.
Give me Jones. So, Sean,
Yes.
Yeah.
Fennel Styles.
What's
Yes.
up? I got nothing.
This you do though. You do. You actually had a really cool story. So, some kid was much smarter than Google in creating a possibly autonomous car that drives itself.
Yeah, I feel like I'm on the spot because I can't remember his name. But I
his
read an
name?
article
What is his name?
last week, not Neek,
Call him
last
John
week,
Austria.
about
J Dub Un.
a student, a high school student, who entered his science project into the Intel Science Fair. And the Intel Science Fair is, I think it's a countrywide science fair that they have a max prize for the winner. And he won because he developed an autonomous driving system that is cheaper than Google's.
Didn't he use a
He's
webcam?
19 years old
He
from
used
Romania.
webcams.
His name is Ionut Budistanayu.
There you go. I wouldn't have. I wouldn't even remember that. Not gonna work here
Not
anymore.
gonna work anymore.
But yeah, he developed. He used webcams and a very low resolution radar system to create an autonomous driving vehicle for cheaper than Google was able to develop one, and he did it pretty much by himself and ended up winning himself a $70,000 scholarship to college.
So this system, though, I think from what you were saying, was actually potentially more accurate than what Google has.
It was. It handled certain situations better. Like, for example, it handled pedestrian traffic and knowledge of pedestrian and obstacles better because the webcam was able to pick up a lot of that information. I think he was using HD webcams. They were able to pick up that information and analyze it really quickly. But like Google's thing is using like LiDAR type stuff, and it's doing a whole bunch of it's doing higher processing, higher resolution point
Is it
cloud
doing, like,
information.
is it doing
does that?
LiDAR on the fly? Basically, is it just pulling point cloud data like on the fly as it drives?
What's its CPU? Is it a neural
Neural processor, a learning computer.
Just want to make sure.
Okay, John.
But some of the biggest technology advances now in those systems is real-time processing of the point cloud data on board, and not the actual tech that goes into gathering the point cloud. It's actually processing the point cloud.
What exactly is the
properly.
point cloud? Is it like the iCloud?
It's like the Matrix.
It's like the iCloud.
Well, for anyone who doesn't know what that stuff does, is essentially it shoots out a beam of some kind of bandwidth of light. It's either radio waves or lasers or well, those are pretty much the two, radar or lasers or something. And essentially what it does is it scans 360 degrees from the car, and whatever obstacles it hits, it generates a point in three-dimensional space for that obstacle. The more points that you can gather and process, the better an image of the world you have, so you know what to avoid and what not to avoid and how fast things are going around you and etc. So
You know
It's like when Daredevil sees, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
No,
like
Daredevil
when like
never sees.
it's like when bats
He's blind.
see.
No, they
Isn't it
are
like an
sonar.
orca whale?
Sonar.
They use
That's
sonar.
It's
We're
sonar.
using radar and
It's
It's
LiDAR.
kind of just
similar.
like a Connect 2, right? Just on a car, right?
I think the
right, Carter?
Yes, the closest I can think of is on a special features for a DVD or something.
What's a DVD?
Yes, you'll see that if they need to recreate an actor digitally for like a super dangerous stunt or something, they'll scan the actor's face. It's the same kind of thing, but a much lower resolution because you have to do it so many times per second. But it's the same idea, basically.
It's like Kinect, right? I mean, like, isn't that exactly
They use it
what
all
Kinect
does?
Kinect does it through infrared. I
Infrared,
believe.
yeah, you're right.
All the big film houses use it on set. Like any commercials we did at Asylum, ILM, what they did for New York, basically any of the downtown stuff in Avengers was all they went through, shot LiDAR, so they had a 1-to-1 of every building on the street. So basically, then you have there's software that then generates actual geometry based on those points, and then they have it then, and then you can destroy it, you can break it up, you can texture it 1-to-1, and that's in our industry. That's how it's used mostly.
So I mean, the interesting thing about those systems is the point cloud data is immense. It's like gigabytes and gigabytes per file. So there's a lot of technology that goes into processing that in real time or as close to real time as possible. So you're not waiting for a gigantic file to load. I mean, you literally can't load it all in memory, so it's out of core. You actually have to load pieces of it as you need it.
I wonder if you could
and
use both
throw
systems.
away pieces that you don't need it.
If you took Google's system and his system, do you maybe then cover all your bases?
I don't know.
I mean, it now sounds like your car's like has this whole like roof mount system that's going the whole time.
Yeah, they are both
Super
roof
heavy.
mount systems.
I also wonder
But I would
if-
imagine like the roof mount systems, and they're up high because they need that sort of coverage.
360
But
vision,
but I kind of wonder eventually we'll probably get better technology that works at a lower profile, and you can just have a little bump on the top of your car that has all of that technology built into it.
I wonder if, and I know that this is going to sound controversial given what all of us do to earn money, but I wonder if, what if for a year we stopped using all of this technology for entertainment, just all of it. They just said, hey, all you people working on this stuff, you can't make entertainment with this stuff. You can only do it to like, and we just pick like one thing. Like, we could make that thing awesome, right? Like, what if we did this and we were just like, or does the fact that we're using it for entertainment purposes help forward it? Because then private enterprises are, like, pushing the technology. But what if we just stopped and we said, by 2015, we want cars that drive themselves. If you're making technology and you're not making it to have cars drive themselves, like, go to North Korea. Like, would it be faster or slower?
No, it would be way faster.
You think it would be faster?
I absolutely do. I think when this whole thing came down where the car companies were shutting down and the government stepped in to
I think it
shut
would
them
be
down,
faster to a degree. I mean, there is.
they want to make money.
Well, because you were saying the thing about all the commercials and all that entertainment being made using this technology. I wonder if the fact that it was used for this, it allowed DreamWorks was innovating on it for a specific reason, and Google was innovating on it for a specific reason, and then we marry the two together. If that's actually faster than if we all were going for one single goal.
Well, it's an interesting idea. I think in certain places it will work really well. In certain places it won't, because you look through the history of how technology has developed, and there are very specific points where a single breakthrough completely changed the landscape of that technology. And that's not, you may not get that even if you have 1 million people working on the project.
Yeah.
There may need to be that one person that does it that one way.
A million monkeys working on it.
Ooh, and then they can write A Tale of Two Cities.
But I do think, because if you think about the space race, right? Like, there was like a moment where they said, we're going to the moon. And I feel like everybody at NASA who was working on satellites or was working on was like, oh, we're
going to the moon now.
Gotta go to the moon? All right, well, let's just reevaluate. And I wonder if we did that, like, as a country, if not as a world, to one thing. Like, how crazy would that be if we all just took one thing and we said, you know what? This is the thing we're going to do. We're going to cure cancer. Everybody, like, drop what you're doing if it's not curing cancer and find a way that you can
now
cure
that's
cancer.
an interesting idea.
That would be
if
super crazy.
all of the computing power in the world
Exactly.
was dedicated to one specific problem to solve, like that.
Like Bitcoin mining?
Yeah, exactly.
Or like folding at
home.
home.
Yeah, folding at home.
Folding at home.
Yeah.
They're just everyone that develops any kind of processor at any point, there's always one core silently dedicated to solving some.
Yeah.
Cancer or
So
something
what I'm
like
saying is
that.
I'm going to run for president. I'm going to go, listen, there are 4 things I'm going to do. I'm not going to do anything else. Like, our economy is
I'm
going
gonna
to fall
invent
apart.
vampires, and then I'm gonna.
It's like, literally, like, I picked 4 things. And I'm like, listen, get on board or get the fuck out of
This
here.
is like the,
We're doing 4 things.
the rent is too
one
high.
a year.
I'm pretty sure that would be. I'm pretty sure that would be a hierarchical totalitarian dictatorship.
I don't think the Kearneys would make it, though.
The legacy would make it.
Isn't that what North Korea is doing though? Like their entire
That's true.
country is developed around like let's make weaponry.
Yeah, like like we're
or
going to
something like that.
destroy
I was say, Jay
the
broke
United
down
States.
their three
The
things
three
that
major
keep
trades are growing drugs and making guns. You know what I'm saying? It's enslaving people.
Okay.
3.
So this is something I'm really curious what you guys. Have you ever heard of the Atari video game Burial?
Yeah, the ETs up in Nevada, Arizona, something like
about
that.
this?
So this is fascinating to me. This is coming up for a specific reason, but this is what Wikipedia has to say about it. The Atari video game Burial was a mass burial of unsold video game cartridges, consoles, and computers in a New Mexico landfill
New Mexico.
site.
It was specifically ET, though, I believe.
Undertaken by an American video game company and home computer company Atari in 1983. The goods disposed of through the burial are generally believed to have been several million copies of E.T. the Extraterrestrial, a game which has become one of the biggest commercial failures in video game history and is often cited as one of the worst video games released.
Made by a very legendary, great game designer who came on to make it. And when he signed on to do it, they said, okay, what we forgot to tell you is you have 2 weeks.
2 weeks?
Yeah,
Is that a serious serious?
He had like some stupid deadline to make a game. I read an interview with him, and I forget what he had made before that, but he had made a very good couple games, and he was a good video game maker.
Did that end his career?
And no,
Is that back when it was just one person? Like literally, they brought him in and he just did. Yeah, he just did.
So these are actual cartridges,
Yes.
like completely like intact
Probably in the
cartridges.
box.
that
So
are-
hold on. There's more to this. So this says, just to finish this up, since the burial was first reported in the press, there have been doubts as to its veracity and scope, leading to a minority considering it to be an urban legend. However, the event has become a cultural icon and a reminder of the North American video game crash of 1983, which at the end of that year resulted in Atari being sold off by its parent company. Reason I bring this up is... This is from Joystick. A Canadian-based film production company, Fuel Industries, has obtained permission from the City Commission of Alamogordo, New Mexico, to excavate a landfill containing a large quantity of unsold Atari 2600 games for the purpose of filming a documentary. According to reports, 10 to 20 semi-trailer trucks filled with unsold, inoperable, and prototype Atari hardware and software were dispatched from El Paso, Texas storehouse to a landfill in Alamogordo. The cargo was reportedly dumped, crushed, and encased in concrete.
Wow. Encased in concrete.
How are they going to dig that
What
up?
the hell were they making that they needed to encase it in concrete?
Drugs.
Really?
But I just
North
think,
Korea.
I one, had no idea this was a thing.
I didn't hear that part of it.
Yeah.
And two, apparently it's so popular that, it's known and well enough
Why-
in the
why
video
I
game.
watched
Why
that
crush it?
documentary.
dig
Because,
it up and recycle it.
yeah, well, I don't know.
It's crushed and in concrete.
So what? It's metal.
So do you have to chisel
Recycle
it
that
away?
shit.
And plastic. Those cartridges
So they're gonna have
are
to
plastic,
chisel
right?
away to see an ET logo to be like, "Yep, they're there."
Yeah, probably they would have to, right?
Here's-
And then they'll probably find Jimmy Hoffa's body.
Has
in
anybody
Hey.
played that game? Has anybody played that ET?
Don't you
Atari
have
game?
it? You said you had it.
I'm
We
pretty
have it
sure
at work, but I haven't put it in.
I think
yet.
I played it
played
once.
it on an emulator. It's terrible.
Yeah,
Um,
you
but-
just walk around into holes and you fall in, and you
Yeah.
realize what you wanted isn't in there, so you get out and you fall into another hole.
Oh, is that
feel like
really
and
it?
that's all you do. It's just
You
it's
go hole to
literally
hole?
it's just like this screen is just like circles.
Do you have
like
this
it,
board? Sean? You're pulling
Well,
up?
I actually have the history of it.
Oh, okay.
So it's made by the guy who made Yar's Revenge, which was a
Oh, it's
super
super-
successful
yeah, super
Atari
popular.
game. Also did
Yaris?
Yars, not Yaris.
That was
Your
the-
car-
The Yaris
That was
Your
game.
an
car's
XBLA game.
revenge.
No, not that. So
Is it
he
yours
made
or mine?
He made Yar's Revenge, and he also made Raiders of the Lost Ark game, and was
Hey.
requested specifically by Spielberg, and jumped at the opportunity. They offered him $200,000 and an all-expense paid vacation to Hawaii to do it. He jumped at the chance because he wanted to make this innovative game that took place on a cubed world that was about E.T. having to build a phone and phone home. Based on the movie. So he was like, all right, I'm going to do this.
That
This
was the
sounds
idea
great.
going in.
He meets with Spielberg. He pitches the idea. Everyone's down. They've spent... There's the music.
Yeah.
At this point, they've spent $25 million for the rights. And this is in
Hold on,
1983.
Atari did?
Atari did, right, to license it. And the total production cost estimated at $125 million for this game. They gave them 5 months to make it because in the time it took them to get everything situated, they finally were like, oh, we need this to be done by September 1st, and it is now April. And they
Where
gave
did the
them 5 months.
$105 million go? What did that go to?
Voice
You know what I
talent.
mean?
Yeah.
They only gave him what, $200,000? You say?
There you go.
Yeah.
Well, that Hawaii trip was over the top.
Pecco's got it up on his phone.
Is that one of the holes you fall in?
It's rough.
Oh yeah.
It's just holes.
Whoa, there's a dude.
So obviously it got away from his idea of this cube world. Right? I mean, the game doesn't revolve around
Oh
that.
no, and it also has a giant bug too. I forget. There's like a giant game crashing bug
You can't beat the game, right?
that there's no way that you can beat the game. But here's the best
Oh,
thing.
that's awesome.
In February 2013, a fix for the game was released by neocomputer.org, a small personal website unrelated to Atari. The website details the long-standing issues of the game and provides commentary on the errors, including instruction on fixing it. According to Neocomputer, the infamous issue with E.T. falling into pits which is what Josh is talking about, where the game there's just these little craters everywhere, and you can just fall into them, and then you're just dead. It was due to pixel-perfect collision detection. If any portion of E.T.'s sprite overlapped a pit, E.T. would just fall into it. And the website also details numerous other issues that are resolved with reprogramming the game to adjust other aspects of appearances, difficulty, and other bugs.
So did they fixed it like an emulated version? They have a fix.
How do I play the before and after version? That's what I want.
Yeah. They just basically, if you're
don't
emulating
do
it,
it.
you can recode this game to make it work. So pits were devised as
Pecco, on it.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to waste my time. I don't want to play that game. I just saw a YouTube video. That's all I need.
So we can stop here, call it an evening, or I have a question I could pose to you guys. Either way is fine. We can wait till next week if you want to get going, or we can keep this train going.
Question.
You want the question?
Get the question.
If anyone wants a question, better ask it.
All right.
I'm not going to answer it, though.
There's something fascinating about urban myths.
That's not a question.
Not like urban horror stories or whatever, but like
Urban horrors.
not urban legends. Like, oh my gosh, there's a guy.
There's
in
a guy with the
backseat.
hook
Yeah,
in the
not that
car.
stuff, but like urban myths about like this type of a thing. So what is your favorite that you've ever come across?
That's.
You want me to start it off while you all think?
Might have to.
I need to hear an
think
example.
about that one. Yeah.
Wait,
You ever heard
want to
this?
hear our favorite myth?
Like urban legend, not like horror related, but like apparently there's 2,000 bars of gold hidden in the banana stand.
Money's in the
Is that your
banana
favorite
stand.
one?
No, my
George Booth
my
for
favorite
Russian
one
protection.
is, and I've talked about it before on the podcast, but I've been obsessed with this
I know
for a
what you're
long
gonna
time.
say.
Is the story of Oak Island in Nova Scotia? Anyone heard this one before?
No, that's not what I thought you were going to say. I immediately resend.
The gist of this is that back in the 1800s there was a boy playing on a small island off the coast of Nova Scotia, and he noticed a circular depression in the ground, and he had heard legends about pirates, and so he thought there was going to be buried treasure, and so he got a shovel and he got a couple of buddies, and they dug down, and they came across wooden planks, and they excavated this whole circular area and found the whole thing to be covered in wooden planks. And then they broke through some of the wooden planks, and there was a 4-foot drop and more wooden planks. They couldn't go any further than that. And this is a tremendously long story that the legend has it has been going for over 100 years now, quite a bit more. And the gist of the story is that to date, there's been 4 or 5 major excavations of the area, including a United States president before he was president. And they have dug down like 600 feet down into the ground, and they've brought up pieces of a letter, 2 links of a golden chain, and what they believe to be tissue from a necrotic hand.
What's a necrotic hand?
Like it's
A mummy's hand.
basically.
Oh.
Necrosis.
And
Necrotic.
to this day, the story of the money pit, as it's known on Oak Island, is an illegal battle of who actually has ownership over it. But I've heard it's been resolved, and I've heard there's a new excavation that's going to be starting in the next few years. But this is totally an urban legend. But the story is absolutely fascinating. If you read through it step by step by step, it actually goes into say that each excavation that failed because the pit, the hole that they dug down, ended up flooding with water. And the reason that it was flooding with water is they said that it had been booby trapped, and that there are actually channels that go to the closest beach, where if you dig down below the sand, there's filters of like palm leaves, like big palm branches that are not native to the area. And so there's just hundreds and hundreds and hundreds of palm leaves that keep the sand out of this aqueduct that feeds water in a booby trap to the money pit, as it's known. So that's my favorite one.
But they have
That's crazy.
And this is all fake.
It's not fake.
Yeah.
Supposedly,
That's what I'm saying.
Supposedly, it's real.
Who's the president that was before they were
I
president?
want to say FDR. I could be very wrong.
Oh my God, that's how he broke his legs.
Yeah. That's why he walked tall with a big stick.
So go ahead. What do you guys think?
That was Teddy Roosevelt.
Do you got one? Anybody else got one?
I think there's modern engineering technology that allows them to actually not
See
have
that.
the stuff
Like
flood
a-
into the hole that you're excavating.
A water pump?
Not even a water pump.
a lot
They dig a
of-
channel.
there's a lot of
They
tech.
fill it with concrete and they anchor it to the soil. Not to the soil. They anchor it to the bedrock, way deep down below the soil, and then they use that as a channel to block the water.
Well, can't they
They
just
actually fill two things and put water inside it, so the water can't go through water, right? So they fill a channel, and then they fill it with water, and then they reinforce the inside of that wall so that the water can't go through the water, and then they hold the rest of the walls up with that reinforcement.
And there's sonar
Then you can
devices
dig
that-
down.
Yeah, that's what I was
and
gonna
start-
say.
I'm
Can't you
lost
just
on
image it?
that.
I would
Yeah,
think
I
there's
mean,
sonar
they're-
devices that would give you a good how far down those can go pretty deep now, right?
Yeah.
Like the ones that look for oil and stuff.
So there's FDR was the president who was involved, and there's different theories as to what's buried down there. A lot of people believe it's the
New Deal.
undiscovered
City of Atlantis.
No, it's the undiscovered location of Captain Kidd's treasure, who hasn't been discovered yet.
What about Captain Kirk's treasure?
No,
Who's
and
Captain Kidd?
I've never heard of
He's a pirate.
he's a pirate. He's a famous
Captain
pirate.
Jack.
And then also there are rumors that another possible theory is that the Knights Templar, who have become the Freemasons, they were once in charge of all banking in in
On Oak Island?
Europe. No, in Europe. And they sort of vanished with large quantities of money at some point in time in history. Like records are really, really loose. And so,
Like National Treasure.
yes. And they believe that one place for the resting place of the Knights Templar treasure could be in Oak Island, and that there's ties to the Freemasons, hence why FDR is involved, because he's supposedly a Freemason.
I
So
don't
who-
think they're
who
going to
owns it
find
now?
anything. I think it's
That's
just somebody fucking with somebody from like 100 years ago.
Yeah.
Just like, hey, we're going to dig this hole, put some booby traps in it. People are going to come look for it. It's going to happen.
Okay.
It's a 1,000-year-old social experiment.
It is.
Yeah.
There's probably
It's
some
like that
sort
game
of,
where you just push the blocks.
Curiosity.
And clear
Oh,
the
one other
thing.
theory is it's the actual resting place of the Holy Grail.
There it is. There it is.
What about Noah's Ark?
Yeah.
Noah's Ark's been discovered, hasn't it?
Yeah, it was
No,
in,
that
Iron
was
Mountain.
Evan Almighty. Evan Almighty. Evan Almighty. Is Evan
Alrighty.
Almighty, that movie.
Any
with
other
Steve
urban
Carell.
legend?
There was one, I remember getting a note home in school about this, which is an urban legend, I believe. Like, I remember finding out it was an urban legend going, why'd they write that note? That if you see a car with its lights off,
Gang initiation.
yeah, and you flash your lights, like to tell the car to turn on, that is how gangs initiate new members as they go drive around with your lights off. It's the first person you flash their lights, go and kill them. And there was a note that was sent home when I was in high school saying that was like, make sure that you don't flash your lights at
That was
cars.
also in the movie Urban Legend.
And then it was, and that's what I think I knew, is then it was in the movie Urban Legend. I went, wait a second, I got that note home when I was in high school. Fuck this.
But the funny thing is, I still don't flash my lights.
But that's because
I
you're an
don't care.
asshole.
I never know. Like my buddy did that. He flashed it, and like as soon as he flashed it, the car like was all, "Brrr," and then just donated right there and started like hauling ass coming back to him. And he was like, luckily, he just as soon as he saw the car just like skid out and start coming back, he just booked it and floored it, and like he was pretty close to being home, so he just turned into his street, went into this garage, and just shut it like really quickly. But he was like,
So it is
scared the shit
It is
out
true.
of me.
I did that just the other week.
Flash your lights?
Yeah.
Don't
Did
do
a
it.
donut, did a donut and
I
chase
guess I
someone
still
down the
do.
street?
I just courtesy.
Yeah,
Yeah.
That's what I think is a nice
I don't
guy.
even
The
think
guy
about it.
waved at me.
I flick them off.
Yeah, but
Yeah.
then he
We-
turned around and killed somebody else.
We
He thought
live
you were
in
somebody
Here's
else.
what I did,
we
though.
live in not gang related areas.
That's
Yeah.
true, too. Yeah.
Here's what I'll say. I flashed my lights. Like I went normal to brights to normal to brights and nothing. And then I turned my lights on, off, and then he got the message. I don't know what.
Well, that's because a
importance
bunch
that has
of
to this
assholes
podcast.
drive around California with their fucking brights on.
That's true.
All the time.
Especially bikes. And I'm looking at you, Adam McFarlane.
He's not here, actually. I don't know if
By the way,
defend
if you
himself.
ride a motorcycle, and I'm looking at you, Adam McFarlane, and
No, you're not.
your
No, he's
policy
not. He's not
of
here.
knocking off people's side view mirrors is it's part of the course for riding a bike. It's my right. Screw you. That sucks.
Wait, he's
That's an
knocked
urban
off
legend.
people's mirrors?
That is
No,
that's a,
I've had friends all do it who
it's a
ride
moving
Really?
violation.
Yeah.
They get close, and if they're lane splitting, like I have friends who their gloves are designed to take that blow. Like they have metal, like it looks like almost like a knight. You're wearing
Yeah.
these gloves that have metal things to, if you hit it, they'll just knock
Do
your
they
hair right off.
do they hit cars that are on the side of the road or moving cars when they're on the
No, I
highway?
suppose the ones I've heard my
Splitting
friends have
lanes.
been
Splitting
splitting lanes.
Yeah.
Like if
Aren't they going
somebody
to outlaw
comes,
that here? What are people talking
No,
about?
that's legal. It is legal.
I know it's
Split
legal
lanes.
now, but I
There are a
heard
lot
that
of
they're-
states that it's not legal.
It's not legal in Illinois because
well, the traffic. Yeah, well,
Do you know why it started though?
I thought it was because of the traffic.
No,
Because
what's
there's horses.
Just
Yeah, I
because
think it was
cops
about
wanted to do it
horses.
too?
No. A lot of times too, it's because you see it
Because of the biker
when
gangs. They're like, fuck
Well,
you guys, we're doing this shit.
lane
Yeah.
splitting kind
Make
of
it legal.
started coming
And horses.
because one of the number one causes in accidents are bumper to bumper. So when you're going and you're in that lane and it's you're in traffic and it's going slow and stuff like that, it's very plausible for a biker to get hit and cause way more more damage to that. So they allowed lane splitting. That's why you'll see motorcyclists a lot of times go and pass everybody and go and stop at the front. It's the same reason, because like if you're in that line and someone goes, you will get like munched. So
I
that's
usually
really
just
where
think
it
that
came.
person's an asshole.
Yeah, I mean, in Adam's case, it's because he's an asshole.
Oh, totally. When he's doing 120.
Are there any more
And punching mirrors
urban
off people's
legends, preferably not of the I'm going to die at the end kind of
The one that I remember like the most when I was a kid actually was from watching the film 3 Men and a Baby.
That you can
The
get pregnant.
ghost?
The men can get
Yeah,
pregnant.
there was the ghost.
The ghost in the back?
And the ghost in the back.
Oh, and
when
the
it-
image.
And then
Yeah,
it comes through.
yeah.
It's like the kid. And the urban
What?
legend was... So there's a scene in 3 Men and a Baby in Ted Danson's apartment. Where
literally,
it's-
if you type
it's-
in 3 men,
Wasn't it all their
Hold on,
apartments?
Well, yeah.
Did they all live in the
it
apartment?
was all living in their
They had the
apartments.
pimpest apartment ever. It was like this
But
huge,
it's
like penthouse.
the camera pans across the room and it looks like there's this kid in the in the window.
And that was not
And
part of the movie.
the rumor is that the building that they filmed, the apartment that they actually used, a kid actually passed away in there, and so it's actually his ghost in the...
Didn't they debunk it? It was like somebody on
well,
set's kid.
well, it's not even that they debunked it saying it was a set. They said it was a cardboard cutout of one of his things because he's an actor in the movie, so it's one of his cutouts from some of his movie or something like that. But when you pan across it and you look, you're like, shit, that's a kid. Like you totally look, and so that's the one that I remember the most.
Mine is Jimmy Hoffa is buried under the Madison Square
Meadowlands.
Garden.
where is it?
Madison Square Garden.
Is that the baseball one?
Or the Meadowlands.
No, that's where the Knicks play.
That's what
Yeah.
Nick
I thought it was
Hoffa's
baseball.
body's buried under the 50-yard line of the
Wrigley?
Meadowlands.
Of the Meadowlands and of Giant Stadium. Didn't Mythbusters use...
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's
Figure
right.
it out.
Mythbusters went to go find him at,
Yeah.
at Giant Stadium?
At Giant Stadium. They went and they...
That's why it's at
What did they
Madison
do? What
Square
did they do?
Garden.
The sonar?
They
Yeah,
use
they
like
just-
ground penetrating sonar.
See, that's what I'm saying for the Oak Island
If
thing.
you go to newsfromthespiritworld.com, they have a picture of the baby ghost boy.
Do they?
Mine's mine that has stuck with me as a kid and came back up in Indiana Jones is Aliens at Area 51,
little boy. Hiding on top.
or whatever the
someone
hell
brought
is
their
at
son to
Area
set.
51.
Let's look
What
it
about the
up.
Taos Hum? Right? What is that?
What?
What is the Taos Hum?
What's that?
You guys don't know what that is?
No, you tell us. You brought it
In
up.
Taos, New Mexico, there's a consistent hum. Like, wherever you
I think
go.
it's an air conditioner.
Because you can see
So
what's interesting
hot.
is that when we go to Vegas, one of the places me and Josh tend to go every time we're there is the Foundation Room at Mandalay Bay. It's at the very top of the casino, right by like pretty much by the lights that say Mandalay Bay.
Oh,
at the top.
Ryan's story.
Yeah. But no, we go over there and it checks out. So like you get a really good shot from the top there down onto the
Strip.
McCarran Airport, which is in Vegas's airport. But there's a small section that has basically these unmarked small 747s and then smaller jets that just have one red line and white. And we were talking to some different people, one of his friends who live there now, and that's actually the airport where they commute in to Area 51 every day.
Oh, really?
They fly them in every day. He's like, there's a huge group that comes in every morning, park, they fly in, then fly them back and come out because he knew somebody.
I don't
Who
know if he knew
commuted?
anyone,
I
but
thought
he
said he
knew.
knew somebody who commuted.
But he goes, the reason you can tell is because all the planes didn't have any number marks. They were just, they were
Unmarked.
Yeah, unmarked planes.
Unmarked
basically.
planes.
But you can
And those
see
are the
that
planes,
section from up there. It's
Yeah,
you
those
can
are the
see those
planes that go in
it's
and
its
out of
own
Area
thing.
51.
I've never heard of this before. The Taoist hum is defined as the hum is perceived as a low frequency sound, often described as being comparable to that of a distant diesel engine idling.
Yeah,
And only 2 to 11% of the population can hear it.
yeah.
Would you stay? Let me ask you this: would you stay if you could constantly hear that?
No,
It's probably very.
absolutely not.
No, it's
I wouldn't
probably
stay
really nice.
regardless because it sounds like a terrible place.
It's New
probably
Mexico.
really
Why
nice.
would I
Yeah.
stay?
Because it's in
You
New
can
Have
get
you
some-
seen Breaking Bad? That
Yeah,
place
you
is
can get
awful.
some really good stuff there.
Some really good what?
Fennel
Meth?
style. You got anything?
I don't think I have anything. Not tonight. Too tired to think.
First one, he goes, ask your question.
What was it that you were just talking about?
Area 51.
That's what it was.
You heard of that?
And what
Have you ever?
Basically,
Have you ever
what's
heard of this
there?
place? There's a little video game they made out of it.
I mean, they've talked about it in general, right? They talked about even in Zero Dark 30 that's where the helicopter was designed that flew in.
Oh, really?
The stealth helicopter.
Well, that's the thing is,
That's what it is, right?
government-
It's a prototyping airfield for them, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, that's the idea behind
Which is
Area
where,
51.
which is why you'd go, oh, well, that's why people thought UFOs were there
start
because
seeing
of a
weird
prototype.
shit because
Yeah,
of prototype.
That's
shit.
fascinating. It says it's a remote detachment of Edwards Air Force Base. I didn't know that.
yeah.
It's in the desert.
It's in Nevada. Edwards is in California.
Say
California
anything
does
more? Or is that it?
border
Or does it just go
Nevada.
dot on Wikipedia?
No, that goes on.
All
for
I know is
pages and
Indiana
pages.
Jones-
Run by
Pages.
Janis Joplin.
I think that was something Indiana Jones did right. I love both in the last one and then also in the first one when they put that crate into that warehouse. That's one of the sickest scenes.
Yeah. There's a place on the south side of Chicago called Bachelor's Grove that when I was in high school, all my friends and I, we always wanted to go in there because it was like this haunted cemetery that what's his name? Who's the Al Capone? They said that like he dumped all these bodies because there's like a lake inside there that he dumped.
There's
all
a
his
lake in the
bodies.
cemetery?
There's like a little lake in the cemetery, and there's like a picture if you look it up online, like the famous ghost of Bachelor's Grove. But they did I was watching on TV. One of the ghost shows on one of the channels. I can't remember, but they did like a
Could you be less
examination of it.
specific, please?
Well, there's like 7 million ghost shows on TV.
It's true. Both of you are true.
Did they find something?
They did find they found like actually like there's like two big things, like the cemetery itself and then the surrounding woods are supposed to be haunted, and they say that one of the big rumors when I was growing up was like devil worshippers live in the woods, and so like if you go to Bachelor's Grove and you go into the woods you can get lost. And my buddy's brother told me a story that like him and his friends got lost in there all night because they kept seeing headlights and they'd walk towards them and then there's nothing there, so they just keep going. And then there's this myth of the this house in the woods that has a candle in the window, and you walk towards the house, and if you ever get to the house, they say you'll never come back. But the TV show that I watched, they caught like footage of a light in the woods moving that was like really far away, and could have been anything, obviously. But it's that one thing.
They didn't
that
show
you-
footage?
Yeah,
I thought
they
of
got
one.
footage of it.
I thought of one. It's pretty common. So,
Bigfoot.
Jimmy Page, lead singer of Led Zeppelin.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, supposedly very, very into the dark arts and the occult, and supposedly sold his soul to the devil. Made a deal. Didn't sell his soul. Made a deal with the devil, and the devil wrote him the first stanza of Stairway to Heaven. All the fame and everything that followed, but he said, the deal was, I'm going to take something from you because I'm giving something to you. And everything that followed was one of his children died, I think, and some other serious shit happened in his life that totally, like, people are dying around him, and his career took off, but a whole bunch of personal stuff went south. And there's a lot of rumor about him actually making a deal with the devil to get famous.
Yeah, they said like the song
I
was
never heard
written
that.
in like 4 minutes or something like that.
Oh,
It's-
really?
Yeah, it just sits there and it's just like
Yeah, he gave him the melody, and then they just poured it. It just poured out.
yeah,
of him.
it was just like write the lyrics and done.
His eyes rolled into the back of his head.
No, I'm looking at Josh's face, and he's making that like the vision.
Because that's
of that.
kind of that's like
not
the whole thing.
That's
They-
not the record you play backwards to like.
That's
Pink
no,
Floyd,
that's
isn't it?
that's Pink. No,
Or that's Ozzy, isn't it? Or Iron
it's,
Maiden.
the
or what?
Beatles, right?
The Beatles.
It's
I
the
thought
Beatles.
is Paul is Dead.
Yeah.
If you play one of their records backwards, I thought you were
You
talking
play a
about
record backwards.
No, apparently the Pink Floyd thing. I don't remember which one, but you play that in sync with a movie.
You play
Wizard of Oz,
the
right?
Wizard of Oz.
Yeah, Wizard of Oz and
Dark
it's
Side of the Moon.
supposed to be
Goes
like
very
some
well together.
very surreal thing. I don't know.
Someday I'll.
And you drop acid, and then you jump on 1 foot. And
He made a deal with the devil for I had never
made a
heard
deal with the devil to write a
He never
record-breaking song.
came out and said that he did this.
No, I mean people wrote articles about him being into kind of the occult and doing some occulty type practices. I mean, he wasn't very.
And like the house that
he didn't
it was,
hide any of that, but this particular thing is a rumor.
and like the house they were in when it was written and stuff like that too. Is
Interesting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Never heard that.
I think on that wonderful note, we should probably call it an evening.
Hail Satan!
Thanks to all the listeners tonight.
Absolutely. Ladies and gentlemen, this has been Nerdtastic in 3D, episode number 66.
Stay safe.
My name is Jason Carter.
I'm Jack Eckler.
I'm so tired.
Josh,
Sean Fennel.
Kiwi Lime LeBron.
Kiwi Lime. I don't know what that's all about. I'm Jason Pecco.
I'm Sean Kearney.
And Sean, why don't you sign us off?
Good night, everybody.
Nerdtastic in 3